What's up guys, Jeremy here from How To Hockey with a special guest star on the channel, Mark Messier, NHL legend. What we're talking about in this video is old gear versus new gear. So you might have seen the video of me skating in vintage skates. I can feel it right when I move my weight from one side to the other.
Yeah, your ankles. Wait till you start turning, man.
How To Hockey! This is an old pair of Bauer skates. It's got the rubber stopper, it's got the tube holder right there, and believe it or not, Messier wore this back in his minor hockey days.
Not that exact skate, but some just like it. Yeah.
Something very similar.
I definitely wore this kind of skate when I first started playing hockey in the 60s there. This particular tuck blade probably was introduced in the mid-70s, somewhere in there. And I always remember the Guy Lafleur, he had a clear pair of tuck blades there, and the legend had it that he had a goldfish in there during the game. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it was certainly fun as a kid to imagine the Guy Lafleur skating around in clear tuck blades with a goldfish in them.
I think that would look nice as a display piece. The clear with the actual goldfish swimming around.
Someone has it somewhere, I'm sure.
I bet, yeah. So can you tell me about sort of the progression of skates from this and how they moved up to this?
Well, it's just the materials, basically. You look at an all leather skate, you know, just a comfort level. It used to take, you know, months to break in a pair of skates there. And just as you got them broken in there where they felt really good, they would break down and you need a new pair. The weight issue is you can't compare. I mean, this is 5 times, 10 times the weight of this skate now. These old skates would retain water, so you know, in a playoff game when it got real muggy out there, this skate not only started out heavy, it would end heavier because of the retention of the water.
Right.
These skates are designed not to retain the water there. The comfort level of the skate right out of the box is unmatched. There's no soreness, no blistering. And of course, you get the benefit of the lightness of the skate. The edition before this is 5 ounces lighter than the edition before this, never mind this skate here.
Wow.
That can translate up to a reduction of 1,500 pounds lifted in one game per player.
If you count every stride.
Every stride,
right?
everything you're doing there.
To give some reference, the weight of a hockey puck, I believe, is 6 ounces?
Yeah, so I mean, that's right. So you're taking one hockey puck out of the skate in the predecessor.
On each foot?
On each foot. That's pretty amazing.
Tape a hockey puck to each foot and go for a skate and see if you notice the difference.
Yeah.
Talking about when you played, what were some of the innovations that were made during that time that you felt really helped improve your game?
Well, I think everything is evolution, right? You know, the sticks were probably a little bit better, obviously, every year. They were more consistent every year. You know, we used to get a batch of wood sticks there and go through them there. You might pick 3 sticks out of the wood, out of a dozen sticks there. That really felt good.
Yeah.
And it was much like a baseball player going through a batch of bats there. For whatever reason, he'd pick 1 or 2 out of there that he really liked out of a whole batch. Same thing with the old wood sticks there. There was 3 or 4 that really felt good. Nowadays, your sticks are completely patterned after what you like. Your flex point, your stiffness in your shaft, your curve. Every stick that you get is exactly the same. The equipment became a little more comfortable, a little more protective with each you know, generation of equipment that came out, to the point where, you know, when I retired there, things were moving along in the right direction there. Not only, you know, was equipment that enable you to perform better, but it also gave you much more protection at a much reduced weight, which in hockey is everything.
And I guess that's what you're looking for. You're looking for protection, you're looking for comfort, and you're looking for any additional performance you can sneak out of this.
A lot of that performance is in, and I look at performance as in protection as well, because if you're not in the game, you know, it doesn't matter anyways. So staying in the game is important through the protection, but also the weight reduction and all the equipment is huge, from your shoulder pads. And so when you're, you know, if you get on the scale with none of your equipment on to when you get your equipment on, you know, continuing to reduce that, but also at the same time making sure that we're protecting the players to the best of our ability.
Absolutely. Now, the top of the line Bauer gear, it can get a little pricey. And I know that you work with the First Shift program from Bauer. So can you talk a little bit about helping people enter into hockey that can't quite afford the top of the line gear?
Yeah, I think the initiative for Bauer in particular is to make sure that there's a price point for every hockey player at every level. And the reality is that a young boy or girl entering in the game of hockey doesn't need this skate. This skate will not help them. So they don't need to spend the money on the elite level skate that the pros would use. There's equipment that's designed for the beginner hockey players that is all they need at that level there, because they're not big enough, strong enough to really take advantage of the technology that would be in this particular skate.
I help out the Timbit kids, and for the first few at practices, you're pretty much just picking them off the ice, and they're not going very fast.
Yeah, so I mean that's an education for the players. So the first shift was about that. Was the first shift that Bauer and Canadian Tire and Hockey Canada put together was for that purpose, was educate new families into the game of hockey and really understand how the equipment was supposed to fit. How to get dressed. The terminology in hockey, and bring those kids in from non-traditional hockey families there, and really help them fall in love with the game. Give them a great on-ice experience there. Make sure the equipment fits good, so when they get on the ice, their feet aren't hurting. The equipment's not too big and falling all over, and their equipment helmet's not falling over their eyes. Making sure all that is done properly, so when they do get on the ice there, they can just worry about one thing and go out there and have fun.
Really good point, because I remember as a kid, I had skates that didn't fit well. And I remember my toes just hurting so much that I'd have to come off the ice, and I was crying, and it made me not want to play. So I mean, having equipment that fits well and is comfortable, and in a way, obviously it's going to help the kids want to play more because they just feel more natural out there. But for the players who are looking for performance, I guess if you don't have any pain, you're going to perform better, right?
Well, that goes without saying. The comfort level and the equipment there is a priority. It's paramount to the success of any player at any level. I know for sure that I played many of those games with sore feet or blisters or whatever back in the days. That's no longer the case. So we know we've taken that out of the equation for kids that are first starting up. But the most important thing for those kids is to really just go out there and fall in love with the game there, and once that happens there, they develop a passion for it there, then they can take it anywhere they want.
It's really important to make sure that you get them fitting properly right off the start. If you get a size too big, size too small, there's different lines of Bauer, there's the Vapor and the Supreme, right? So you want to make sure that they fit really comfortably right out of the gate, otherwise you can feel discomfort.
All the equipment, skates, all the way to the protective gear is really an individual choice, and the choices are for every different kind of foot shape or body shape, or the thicker pads, more for defensemen, more for forwards, higher cuffs, lower cuffs there. So really being able to customize your equipment for what you do and how you like to feel on the ice is something that is very innovative and is working well for the players.
Absolutely. So my channel, How To Hockey, and the hockey movement, I have a big emphasis on teaching people how to improve their skills, right? So now that I have you here, let's take a look at the sticks, and maybe you can give a few tips on picking the right kick point, the right curve, just from your pro experience. That's it for this video, but we're going to be back with a second video with Mark Messier talking about hockey sticks. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see that one. Thank you very much for watching the video, and a big thanks to Bauer for having me out to do this. If you want to see more videos with me and Bauer, let me know in the comments section. They invited me to go check out their testing facility, and apparently it's huge. So if you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments section. Don't forget I make new hockey videos every single week, so hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.